Hi guys, it's Grace with Grace Gets Gastric, and I'm here today for my 2-week post-op extended arm lift and thigh lift after massive weight loss. So if you are interested in hearing how my second week after surgery went, go ahead and keep on watching. So to start off with a spiel. Hello, I am Grace. I am 5'8", 29 years old, and on January 2nd, 2018, I had the vertical sleeve gastrectomy or VSG weight loss surgery. My highest weight ever recorded was 354 pounds in May of 2017, and I was required by my insurance to do a 6-month medically supervised weight loss diet. And over the course of that 6 months, I lost 35 pounds, so my starting weight day of VSG was 319 pounds. Over the course of about a year and a half, I lost over 120 pounds, maintained in the low 190s for a good 6 months, and on January 29th, 2020, I had my first round of plastic surgery in Tijuana, Mexico with Dr. Alejandro Galvez. I had a full abdominal lift, I had a breast lift / reduction, and I had a bra line back lift with some lipo. Fast forward to October 26th, 2020, I had my second round of plastic surgery again with Dr. Galvez, and this time around I had an extended arm lift, an extended thigh lift, and I had a BBL along with a little bit of lipo on my stomach. So it's been 2 weeks. My surgery was a Monday, so it's been 2 weeks since then. And things are going well. I've been home, I got home a little bit before my 1 week, and now I've been home this whole time, and it's been good. My weight is about the same as it was before I left for surgery. Sorry, I'm going to be moving around a little bit just because it's hard to get comfortable. So sorry if you see me wriggling. C'est la vie. Like I said, my weight is about the same as it was before I left for surgery. Not surprised. They removed a bit of skin and obviously mostly like fat from lipo, in terms of they lipo the skin on your arms and your thighs before they remove it. So which they didn't do with my stomach. So the skin itself didn't weigh as much because they just lipoed the fat just to make it easier. And then they injected some of that fat into my ass. So I'd say, I think about half of what they took off, they put back in. And then, I'm swelling and stuff. I was not expecting to lose weight. You shouldn't expect to lose weight when you have plastic surgery. As was my experience with my first round and talking with a bunch of people, this seems to be very common. Most people don't seem to keep off the weight they lose from losing the skin. Almost universally, and obviously there's exceptions to every rules, but most of the people I've talked to their weight ends up about where it was before they had the surgery, regardless of how much skin and or fat was removed before plastics. My weight bounced right back up to my plastic surgery weight the first time. Right now I'm about the same. I'm still pretty swollen, but even when the swelling goes down, I mean, I'm not banking on losing weight. Do not have plastic surgery hoping to be a lower number on the scale. You will likely be disappointed. Anyways, I've made some notes on things. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna slouch a bit because that's, yeah, a little bit better. Sorry, anyways, on day 8 post-op, I had, I'd say, kind of my first normal bowel movement. My first bowel movement post-op was day 4. Then I went basically once a day until day 8, and every time it was quite hard, pellet-like, difficult to pass. And that was with me taking 2 stool softeners every day. On day 8, it was normal, no difficulties, no awkwardness. And then on day 8, I stopped taking any stool softeners, and it's been pretty much normal ever since. So just keeping you updated on that. I would say day 9, the itching began. It has not been as pronounced as it was last time, perhaps just because I've got fewer incisions. But right now, it's definitely, I can feel it. I want to itch my arms pretty badly. I would say by day 11, I was able to shower and get dressed by myself. So I was able to shower by myself on day 7. So 1 week post-op, I was able to shower entirely by myself, but I was not able to get my compression garments on by myself, particularly my sleeves and my socks. Just were too difficult for me to get on by myself. By day 11, I was able to do that by myself. Easier if you have someone, if I had had someone you know, it's easier. It's nice to have them help you with it. And my sister is still coming every day. And that was what she was doing, is I would just time my shower to be right before she got here, and she would help me with it. But she's only able to come in the afternoons after her work, and I prefer showering in the morning. So I'm actually quite happy now that I can shower myself, because I can just get all of that done in the morning. I would say on day 12, I started really noticing dryness on my skin. I'm sure it was there before, but that's when I've really noticed it. This was a thing last time. I do not have dry skin. I almost never use any sort of lotion, never have. I don't need to. My skin is, I wouldn't say my skin is oily, but it is not dry. It is never needed to have lotion. But after surgery, because of all the disinfecting they're doing, plus I'm showering a lot more than I normally do. I'll rinse myself off, but like I'm using more stringent soap just to make sure everything's really clean. So yeah, I started noticing dryness, particularly around my arms and my thighs. My stomach and all that stuff is fine, because I'm guessing, you know, it's not as, I'm not cleaning it as stringently in terms of like overly soaping, and I'm sure that they were not like using as much alcohol and stuff, because they really weren't doing work on my torso. But started doing that. I've been putting lotion on my thighs and my arms as I can, but making sure that I'm really staying away from my incisions. I had a small, I noticed on one of my arm incisions when I was taking off the dressings that there was kind of like a spot of fluid on the pad, and it looked like there was fluid pooling beneath the tape. So I took that tape off there, and it was kind of like oozing a bit. I was worried it might be an opening, so I sent a photo to aftercare, and they were saying that just a normal part of the process. It had scabbed over by then. They said that that's just totally normal. But he did ask that I just take off the tape on all of my arm incisions, just to make sure there was no issues anywhere else. So I've done that. So now my arms are completely tape free, which I did sometime last week. Today I took off the tape on one of my legs entirely, just because part of it had already been tape free, and then the tape was just starting to peel off and it was annoying me. The other one is mostly tape free, but there are a few places that are still pretty solidly stuck down, and I don't want to mess with that. So as they start to peel up, I'll take them off. Incisions are looking good. They're quite thin in my opinion. I really like them. Definitely some scabbing still. I mean, they're nowhere near entirely, you know, closed or ready to go, but they're looking good. I think I will post a photo of one of my arms probably tomorrow on my Instagram for Transformation Tuesday. I had my sister take photos of me today. Like, I was gonna do sort of my front, side, back traditional photos, but one, it's hard to really see a big difference because the incisions are not, they're hidden for the most part. And it's my arms and my thighs, so it just, depending on the angle, it's hard to see. And she was not the one who took my pre-surgery photos. That was my stepmom, and they're from different angles, and that really bugs me. It's just visually, you can't really see the difference because the angles are different, and so it just looks entirely different. So I'll probably I might do them like maybe at 1 month, and compare the 1 month to my 1 week or to my 2 week, you know, and have my sister take them, because if it's the same person, she knows what angles to take them from. So anyways, no like full photos, but I'll try to post more photos as I can. It's also just hard because I can't really move and manipulate things the way that I would want to. Yes. I'm full on, you know, dressed up. In terms of dressings, I've got pads everywhere. Obviously, like one of the armpits are a big one, and the groin incisions. There's definitely some dampness, partially because, you know, my stomach is not entirely flat. There's still like a bit of a pooch. Partially that is because I'm really swollen right now. And so when I sit down, while it's not like sitting on my thighs, on the groin crease, there is some squishing there of my thigh and my lower stomach fat and, or lower fat, you know. Anyways, there's an incision in that crease, you know, where the skin is folding over. And so it's just hard to, you know, I've got basically like a I take a pad and I cut it in half, and then I put each half on those incisions, and I sort of try to wedge it beneath that. The thing is it's not a large flap of fat, you know. It's just like half an inch, right? And when I'm standing, it's not there. And so it's kind of hard to like wedge it in there. Whereas before, when I had my pannus, you know, I could have fucking put a whole notebook in there and it would have been fine. So that's an area. There's a few spots that they're not quite openings, but they're not quite scabbed over yet. So I sent my 2-week post-op incision photos to aftercare, and we'll see if they have any concerns. But I'm not really worried about it or anything. It's just something to keep an eye on. I'm wearing my stage 2 faja from my last round now, which is nice. It is just tighter compression on my stomach. To be honest, if I had not had stomach lipo done, I don't know that I would have felt the need to be wearing a faja at all. Because it's not, you know, this faja is not touching my arms. I have my arm sleeves, and it's really not doing a ton for my thigh. It's only about halfway through my thigh. So, but because I did have stomach lipo done, I have quite a lot of stomach swelling, and so I've got the faja. Also, I did have a BBL, and this faja is actually, you know, contour faja is also good for having BBLs. So I'm wearing the faja. It fit. I was a little bit concerned that it would not, because my weight is higher than it was when I got the faja the first time around. But, and you know, I'm swollen and all that stuff, but fits. Yeah, I've got to wedge the what's it called? The lipofoam in the crotch again, which is super fun. But otherwise, that's been going well. I've got my arm sleeves on. What else? Oh, swelling in my ass is going down, which is great. Part of what, you know, I was worried about is like, it was sort of like, they're kind of like, I think I mentioned there's kind of like two chunks of fat that are like kind of hanging out on my, where he grafted it, you know, and it's just, they're just like very visible divots. That has gone down a lot, and he said it would, and I'm going to absorb some of the fat. So, it is a bit weird just seeing me with a bit of an ass. And I can already tell, like, as it starts to go down and starts to kind of smooth out, I think I'm gonna be really happy with it. So that's great. What else? I've been, you know, like, I'm pretty mobile at this point. I've been not being mobile because I've been forcibly making myself not be, because I know that it's ideal for me to, you know, I can very easily push myself too far because I feel pretty good. You know, I've not been on any pain medication. The last, I might have taken some Tylenol for a headache in the past week. I know I thought about it, but I honestly might have just forgotten to do it. But in terms of like, I've not needed to take anything for pain since I've been home at all. Some discomfort in my incisions sometimes, but nothing that would warrant me taking any medication. Like I said, I'm able to kind of do anything I need to do. I've got my grabber tool, so I have used that a number of times to get stuff that's I've either dropped or that is up on a high shelf. And basically I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is I've had to force myself to not do too much. And that is a thing he tells you as well, especially if you go to him. Like, I don't know what he does, but really you feel pretty great. And it's really easy to think that you can do more than you really should be, and you can fuck up your results. So that's something I really recommend for anyone. I especially recommend it for those that are I think specifically for parents. I know a lot of women in this community who are parents and who seem to be the primary caregiver of their children, because they start to feel good, they start to take on some of those responsibilities that they should not be. So I just really recommend being really clear with your spouse, if there is one in the picture, with your children, or with anyone who's helping you care for those children or your other dependents, that just because it looks like you're feeling okay and that you can move around okay, that doesn't mean that you should be going back to household chores. That doesn't mean that you should be cooking or cleaning or doing laundry or all that stuff. I can do that stuff right now. If I absolutely had to, if there was no other option, I could. but I'm not going to. My sister is coming every day to help me out. You know, it's like I've been reheating food every day from my freezer, my meal prep. I could put those things in the dishwasher. I'm not. I'm making her do it because she's here to help and she's willing to do it. And I know those are tiny little things, but if I keep doing them, I can possibly have an opening. I can stretch out my scars. So that's just like the biggest thing I really want to emphasize for people, because I just see a lot of people doing too much too soon. And it's not the end of the world if you do, but like you can cause complications, or you could end up with results you're not as happy with because you push yourself. So I have been sitting on my ass in my lift chair, watching the Great British Bake Off and reading books. That is pretty much what I've been doing for the past week. It is what I'm planning to do for the next 2-3 weeks. And yeah, I think that's everything. A longer video than I intended, but what else is new? I may come back next week, or I might come back at my 4 weeks. It depends on if I feel like I have stuff to talk about next week. If it's kind of more of the same, I might just wait to do a 4-week update. But I did want to come up with a 2-week update because I do feel like there's definitely some stuff to discuss. Oh, and I should mention, I wore makeup. This is the first time I've worn makeup since before my surgery. I wore makeup on the flight down here, so the day before my surgery. So it's been a little over 2 weeks. I was able to put on a full face of makeup today. I did not do anything overly complicated in terms of my eyes. It's just like a crease. And again, like I can lift my hand that much. So partially I wanted to see how it went, and I felt like wearing makeup because I haven't in a while, and partially is because I bought some stuff in the Sephora VIB sale and I wanted to play with it. I got this concealer mostly because I got this concealer that I think is the wrong color, and after using it, I am pretty sure I tested it, but I was like, I need to see what it looks like with a full face of makeup, and I do think it's the wrong color. So I think I'm gonna probably have my sister go to Sephora and return it for me because I can't. Anyways, really, that's really all this time. Thank you guys for being here and watching, and let me know if you have any questions or what have you, and I'll talk to you all in my next video. Bye.